Welcome everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another week's episode of Heat Press Nation Live, whether you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, or maybe you're just watching a replay. Maybe you're just like starved for some Heat Press content and you're watching us. I want to welcome you and thanks for tuning in. Today we're gonna be using something really cool that I feel like doesn't get utilized enough, and I'm talking about Forever Flex Off. Now I'm using a metallic here, and I'll show it to the other camera in a second. We'll get to that in a minute. So go ahead and buckle in if you want to take some notes. Feel free to do so. We're going to be using Forever Flex Off today, which is a really cool product because it's very similar to a heat transfer vinyl in that it's a single color product. So you notice I only have one color here, which is this really cool metallic like copper. Looks very similar in person to like a new penny. And I didn't have to weed any of that. So for those of you guys who are, maybe you're working with some designs that are a little more intricate or a little bit more detailed than others, and you're just sick of weeding, stay tuned because this might be the product for you. And I say might because, hey, there's different things for everybody. But I want to welcome you guys today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Let's check in on the Facebook here. The Book of Faces. And I'm loading up the comments. There's usually, and you guys know the drill, there's usually a little lag on the comments. Memo is asking, laser transfer paper, what machine do you need for that? It's a great question. So I'll be answering that right now. Everybody else is saying, hey, they're tuning in. I'm gonna let these comments come in. If you have a question about anything that we're doing today, the process, the materials, whatever, please feel free to drop it in the comments below. Even if you're not watching live, maybe you're watching a replay and you still have some comments, you still have some questions, you could still comment whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. We do keep a close eye on those, and we'll do our very best to get you a good answer, as Michael Scott says, as ASAP as possible. So today, really quick, let me lay out the spread. Actually, before I do, real quick, want to give a big shout out to our Facebook group. That's the Heat Press Nation Creators Group, and you see it right there on your screen. Heat Press Nation Creators Group, there's lots of great and amazing heat pressers there. Lots of people there who are actually better than me, and I'm technically, if I get paid to do this, that makes me a professional, right? I'm a professional heat presser, and still there's some folks in there who will just heat press me into the dust. They're so good at it, and what I love about the people in our group is that they're willing to share their knowledge. So if you're just getting started, if you're an intermediate, or maybe you just want some inspiration, go ahead and head on over to our Facebook group. It's right there on the screen. And you could type that in. That's a URL, by the way. You could type in heat.press/FB group, and then you'll be zoomed right on over to our Facebook group. And if you're watching on YouTube, do your old buddy Jared a big favor and hit that like and subscribe button so you can get all of our fresh content. We are releasing videos like every week. So every week there's some new and amazing content coming out by our video team. Definitely want to give a big shout out to Alex and Pat and everybody who's been doing videos, to Madi who's been doing some new videos. That's very cool. And so super exciting. All right, but you guys didn't come here to see me do a bunch of shout outs on what's ups. Although I do want to give a couple shout outs to Jesus and let's see, and Elizabeth and Jenny and Mary Sue and everybody else who's joining in. Ashley and Darlene and Tina. There we go. Okay. FlexSoft. So now I'm going to go over to, I'm going to move this out of the way. Oh, real quick, by the way, today I have my HPN Craft Pro 12 by 15 inch swing away, which is really cool. If you're looking for something a little bit bigger than the smaller, like a 9 by 12, not too gigantic, the 12 by 15 is a really nice size. It is a swing away model. You see that they're going to be using this today. But more importantly, and maybe we can get this on camera. You see this? Oh, this is my Quarantine World Tour t-shirt, by the way. I'm a moron sometimes. So let me pull it back here. I think it needs to get in focus. There we go. So my Quarantine World Tour for the USA leg, I went to the couch, the kitchen, the living room. And then on the international leg of my world tour, I went to Target, In-N-Out, church, COVID testing site. Anyways, I'm just having a little fun with the graphic that would take me forever to weed. If this was heat transfer vinyl, I know all you heat transfer vinyl people, you guys might be seeing this and thinking, holy cow, I do not ever want to have to weed this graphic. It's just too much. It's just too much weeding involved. I'm not exaggerating when I say if I wanted to weed this graphic, it would probably take me, oh, you know, I'll leave this over here so you guys can still see it. If I wanted to weed that graphic, it would probably take me, without exaggeration, close to half an hour, 20 minutes minimum. Let's just say 20 minutes, and it would be terrible. It really would, especially with so many tiny little details to weed. That just means there's so many more chances to mess up. And I've been on an unlucky streak here live for like the past 2 weeks. I've been having mess ups every live episode. And that's because I actually practice before I get up here. So this, as you can see, this one came out great. We'll see how the live one comes. Fingers crossed, right? But anyways, yeah, so this would take me about 15 to 20 minutes to weed. So what's cool about Forever Flex Soft is it totally eliminates the weeding process. Oh, this is the transfer. After you peel it off, you get a nice little imprint. So here, let me show you guys what Forever Flex Soft looks like. You have your one side right, and then on the other side is your printed graphic. I'm going back to camera 2 so I can show you guys. It's printed in reverse, much like HTV, and it's just printed in black toner. This is not compatible with your inkjet. It's not compatible with sublimation. This is for laser printers only, and laser printers that can give you good, even coverage of black toner. So if your laser printer is printing a little junky, it has like some banding, it's not going to work. You have to be able to get full and complete black coverage where it's supposed to. So here's how it works, and I'm going to come around and give the live demonstration right now. We call this the A sheet or A foil. You might see it referenced as an A foil. This is the A sheet, and this is the sheet with the color on it. This is a B sheet, and it's just, I don't know if it'll catch it on camera. There's a watermark on one side. I'll show you this right now. But this has adhesive on it. And so what you do, we call it marrying, the marriage process, because it gets stuck together, right? And so what you do is you just heat press these together for about 90 seconds. When you peel it apart, all this black toner is, what's cool about this adhesive is the adhesive only sticks to the black toner. You peel them apart, and then then now you can heat press that to your shirt. So it is a couple extra steps, but I guarantee you it's not going to take me 20 minutes. Here's the thing. Some people say, oh, I've heard a couple complaints. In fact, I posted about this in the group this morning, and already, I don't like it. Too many steps. I just imagine, people who complain sound like that. Too many steps, whatever, right? Doesn't stretch all the way. I'm going to address all that right now. If you're printing something very, very simple, and I wish I had a sample on me. Oh, this logo. If you're going to print the HeatPressNation logo, to weed it takes about, depending on how fast you are, I've weeded this logo a gazillion times, and my best time, I believe, is around 2 minutes. I think it takes me to weed this logo on a decent t-shirt size. On a smaller, it takes me a little longer because you got to be more careful, more detailed when weeding things out. So a simple graphic like this, you probably aren't going to need to use Forever Flex Soft. However, you see the detail on this t-shirt, and yeah, even if you're really quick, with all the tiny details on here, you're probably looking at about, I said 20 minutes for me, being careful. No mess ups, 20 minutes. If I'm going to hurry, maybe like 15, I don't know. It really depends. I honestly don't want to try it because it's so intricate, and I've weeded enough things to know that I really don't feel like weeding this. So even if we went on a conservative estimate of 10 minutes to weed this, it's still not going to take you 10 minutes for this whole process. You're going to see it live in real time. I am going to be doing it a little slow so that way you guys can see exactly how it works, but I guarantee you, using FlexSoft on a detailed and intricate shirt like this is going to be much faster than cutting it. Oh, the cut time also takes forever. Just cutting this, if I had to put it on a silhouette cameo, cutting this file would take at least 10 to 15 minutes, guaranteed. Putting it in a Puma or something with a servo motor, maybe we can get it down to like 7 minutes. It's still not that fast. You're gonna see this right now. It is a lot quicker on intricate designs. For something like this, oh, you see, okay. something like that. Very simple. You have some big shapes. You got to weed out the center there, but it's not, it's not that detailed, intricate. Go ahead, knock yourself out with vinyl. Again, FlexSoft is not for every job, but there's certain jobs where I wouldn't use anything else. It's enough talking from me. I'm gonna check in on the questions, see if we got any questions. And yeah, and we'll get to the demo right after this real quick checking in for Q&A. Don is asking, can it be layered? Yes, it can. We don't have any samples up here, but if you check in the group, I will post it in the group. We do have some samples where it can be layered. The one thing I will say about layering, and you'll see this, is, so this is the back. You could see kind of through because the light's passing through. So when you're layering, you're looking at it like this. So it might be a little hard to line things up. So you just got to be very careful when layering if you have tight tolerances. But if you're just kind of like a little more loose, or you have it like knocked out, so you have yourself a little wiggle room, then you should be just fine with the layering. Great question. And then let's see, we got any other questions here. Does it hold up as long or longer than HTV? That is a great question. It depends on the coverage. So you look here. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Alex. So you look here. It's not, I do have a lot of coverage. Go back. There we go. Back more. There we go. Just got to stay in focus. So I do have a lot of coverage. And when I say coverage, I mean solid areas. A lot of solid areas of vinyl. If I were to print just a solid square, it would not wash as well and last as long as this, because this has, lots of negative space. When I say negative space, I mean empty area. So all the black you're seeing is the black of the t-shirt. I didn't actually layer a second layer of black. So the more negative space you have inside there, the longer it's gonna last. Again, if I printed just a solid rectangle of, like if I didn't print anything and I just did a solid rectangle and pressed it to this, it would not last as long, because when you're washing it, as the water and everything goes through there, it just kind of it hits the full wall and it just doesn't wash as well. But when you have like negative space, then the water can kind of go through. So it really depends on the graphic. A graphic like this, I would fully expect it to last at least 25, 30 washes before it started to get kind of ugly. So what you will notice is on the areas where there's lots of solid coverage, that actually might, I don't know. I usually don't do a lot of solid coverage. That might go maybe about like 18 to 25. I'll be a little more conservative on my estimate. Depends on the artwork. Again, a solid brick, if you just did a solid layer, no one would ever do that. But that would probably last like a dozen or so. So it really depends on how much negative space you have on your graphic. And we've done like rasterized images, and that's a whole other topic. But if you have a rasterized image, it's going to last a heck of a lot longer. So it really depends on the graphic. Yeah. I hope I answered that. I tend to ramble, so I'm like, okay, no, I'm rambling. You're rambling again, Jared. Stop. So keep it coming with the questions, though. Yeah, someone just asked, can you layer with HTV? Yes, indeed you can. And then I'm going to check in over here really quick on our YouTube pals. We got any questions over there? Fitness is, they're asking for a close-up. You know what, Alex, can you do me a favor? Can you adjust focus here so we can get a close-up of this? Oh, hold on, we're going to have to switch first. So give me a second. Alex is pulling manual focus here, and then we're going to show you guys. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. This is obviously a joke. It's my Quarantine World Tour band t-shirt. And yeah, it made me laugh. I don't know if anyone else is even going to find this funny, but I laughed. So that's kind of all that matters to me in quarantine. I've been making myself laugh for like 9 months now. All right, or 8 months, whatever. Okay, so that's the close-up. Okay, and then last one. That was for Fitness by Fernando. Jesse Gibson, what's up, pal? Good to see you. And then, yeah, okay. I got a question about inkjet paper. This is not inkjet. This is laser transfer paper, but I will hit that inkjet question a little towards the end just because it's a little bit something that we're not doing right now. All right. If you're ready, or if you're just tuning in, I'm about to do a live demonstration to show you how we get this from this. Coming around, let's see it. Okay, so the first thing, and I've had some people have had complaints, and I knew it was going to happen. As soon as I posted that I was doing this, I knew it was going to come in, oh, flex off sucks, and I hate it, blah, blah, blah. Well, you just got to practice with it. Just like anything else, you got to practice, test your settings. These settings that I'm using today, you may need to adjust them. These are a great starting point, but you may need to adjust them. Actually, I'm not going to press that just yet. The first thing you want to do, it's going to take a little time. I got, by the way, my heat press is the Craft Pro 12 by 15 inch, what's it called? Yeah, 12 by 15 inch Craft Pro swing away. And I'm going to fully preheat the lower platen for 30 seconds. So really quick, well, I got about 20 seconds left on the clock. Checking on any more questions. Fitness by Fernando says, can press this on a jean? Yes, you can totally press this on a jean jacket. Martin Soto, how's it going? Yes, I am live right now. We are live. Okay, got about 6 seconds left on the clock. Preheat your lower platen. Okay? Gonna open this up. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place a piece of parchment paper on the bottom. That is hot. Oh, by the way, I have what's called tortilla fingers, meaning I've flipped a lot of tortillas in my day, and my finger, I'm okay with the heat. Things are about to get very, very hot. So if you are not tortilla fingered like me, you might want to wear some gloves. So we call this the A sheet. It's going to be foil or colored side down, so the ink is showing. Next we have this. This is the B sheet. The watermark side, you can kind of see it, there we go. It's gonna go watermark side up. The blank side has all the adhesive on it. So we want this adhesive to marry with this toner. What's cool about it is that adhesive is only gonna pick up the toner. You wanna kind of center it as much as possible. And here's a neat little trick, all right? Fold up a tiny little corner as much as you can. All right, fold up a tiny little corner. This is gonna help us peel it. See, I folded that back. There we go. That's gonna help us peel it once we're done with the A-B marriage. And when I say A, again, this foil is the A, this adhesive is the B. So in the instructions, you will see it A-B marriage, A-B transfer. That's what we're referring to. Gonna cut another piece of parchment paper. And we are about to press these for 90 seconds. Now again, my lower platen has already been preheated. And so I'm at 275 degrees Fahrenheit on the press. And then I have 30 seconds on the clock. Let me just adjust this really quick for 90 seconds. And special guest appearance by my chubby arm. Okay, there we go. 90 seconds on the clock. Let's do it. We're pressing at about a medium pressure. This pressure is, if you've done the paper pressure test, that's where I'm at right now. So the paper pressure test, that'll get you to perfectly sufficient pressure for this. It doesn't have to be ultra high. You don't need ultra high pressure. So I got about 70 seconds on the clock. So let me go ahead and let's see if we got any more questions here. Is it possible? Okay, so we had an off-topic question, but I don't mind. What is the best inkjet transfer paper to use that won't fade? Does not exist. All inkjet transfer papers are going to fade at some point in space-time. So give me just 1 second here. My personal favorite inkjet heat transfer paper is Nina Jet. That paper is just like, it's phenomenal. I've had a shirt, and you hear me brag about it every now and then, shirt that I've been wearing for like 4 years now, coming up on 5 next year, because the shirt I've had it since I started working here. And so, so Nina Jet Pro Soft Stretch is probably my favorite. Is it possible to print sublimation printing on 100% cotton? What's the process? Okay, and I think my mic might have broken up back there, so if there's something you missed, please feel free to drop it in the questions. And actually, I'm going to pause on the questions because we're done. So for all of you guys who just saw, you guys were just staring at a heat press. Thank you for your patience. 90 seconds for the A-B transfer. Here is something that is important that you're going to want to do. You're going to want to get any sort of cloth. You're just going to want to, and I don't know what this does, but I've done the transfer without it, and it didn't work. So like when I first read it, I'm going to be honest, some of you guys might be thinking, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And you know what? I thought the exact same thing when my pal Chris over at Forever told me that this is essential. So I did some transfers without the little rubby rub step, and they didn't work. So I don't know. Magic, no clue. So now I'm going to use that little part. That's going to save my butt now. Now you do not want to wait too long. I've already waited too long. I'm going to peel apart. See, I think I already waited too long for me talking. Okay, so I explained it. I'm just going to reheat it real quick because I waited too long. I was explaining everything, right? I'm just going to give it heat for about another just 20 seconds. Okay, so this, you have to peel it immediately. So I'm actually going to, I might not even talk through this next part. I might just hit it real quick, hit the peel, and then I'll explain my process afterwards. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to do it real quick. There we go. Okay. See, and now the split is hard. I forgot to peel that back over. There we go. Okay. So you're going to want to peel it in one smooth motion. That's hot. Ah, darn it. So what you do not want to do is you do not want to allow this, and when I say wear gloves, I thought I was being all tough. What you do not want to do is allow this to cool down. So you don't want to allow it to even lift up. There we go. There we go. And that part came up, but it's not part of the transfer anyways. So it should be okay. Okay, what you don't want to do is you don't want to allow any part to lift up because even the air getting underneath there is going to cool it down, and we cannot have that. It has to be completely hot, completely warm when peeling. It does take a little practice to get used to the peeling process. Again, you should probably wear gloves. I think I was trying to be too cool and not use gloves. As you saw here, I put this down to help me just hold the transfer down as I kept peeling it apart. So don't worry, it just takes a little bit of practice. You'll get used to it. I'm still not 100% pro at talking while my fingertips are burning, so a little break there. But so now you'll notice that instead of seeing the black toner, and don't worry about this part, that part wasn't part of the transfer anyways. Instead of the black toner now, all the black toner has been married with this white adhesive. One more step before we can actually press this, and that is we're going to trim it. So the adhesive tends to leave a little portion right on the edge. So what you want to do is you want to trim as close to the edge of your transfer as possible. Otherwise, and I don't know if you may or may not be able to see it on camera. I can see a little bit of adhesive right here. That's actually going to leave an imprint on the shirt. So what you want to do is all along the border, we are going to trim it so that way none of that ends up on our shirt. Now, if you're just thinking about the pressing process, I've already spent a couple minutes here pressing this t-shirt. You might be thinking, oh, Easy Weed presses in 10 to 15 seconds. Yes, but what you're not considering is all the time we saved cutting and weeding. Yeah? So we're going to just place this shirt right here. This is a medium, 100% cotton. Right there. I'm going to preheat it just for about 10 seconds or so. And while I'm doing that, actually, we only need 30 seconds on the clock now. Okay. This one you can just let it cool down a little bit. It doesn't have to be completely cold because we're about to heat it the heck up. Okay. Again, kind of rough measuring here. I'm going to place some parchment paper over it. And we're still at 275 degrees, going for 30 seconds. There we go. Let me check and see. Okay, sorry, just going through the comments there. There we go. Timer. I think because I messed with it. Oh, duh. There we go. Forgot to set it back. There we go. So we're still good. We got about 20. I was like wondering why, sorry. I was wondering why the timer wasn't counting down and there was a little setting that I forgot to, that you can't see off camera. So there we go. T-shirt is pressing. Don't worry. I am still here. Give me just 1 second here. Okay. And I don't know why I'm very paranoid. I usually let that ring for like 4 more seconds. But there we go. There's really no need for that. I do that. Now here's an important step. And for this, I'm going to have to scoot everything off of my area here. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to point this over here a little bit, right about there. There we go. Going to pull this off. We have to wait for this to cool completely before peeling. So to do that, what I'll usually do is I'll just lay it on a cool surface. It's very hot. Again, it was under there, 275 for 60 seconds. Oh no, sorry, 30 seconds. So the shirt's a little warm, the transfer's a little warm, but this table is actually pretty cool. So all I'm doing now is I'm just moving it from place to place. And I'm going to come around here, kind of show you what I'm doing. So again, this whole table is really cool to the touch. So I'll do a little bit of that. Then I'll flip the shirt over and just kind of hold it down with my hands just to make sure, and move it around. Let it get cool. This is the cool way. This is the fast way to cool down your t-shirts. If you have like a granite or like even a marble, all you fancy people out there, if you have like, nice countertops that stay cold, you can easily just do this. Put your shirt down. Someone was commenting a while back, now that I think about it, that they had gone to like a marble store. I don't know what those are called, but they had gotten just like a sample piece, and they use it as a cooling stone, which I thought, dude, that's genius. So yeah, so all I'm doing here is I'm just moving it around. I need this transfer to completely cool before I peel it. So just moving it around. It takes a couple seconds here. I'm gonna flip it over now, and I'm gonna touch it. This has to be completely cool to the touch. It's all right. So gonna let it there. And that table's a little dusty, so I got a little dust all over my t-shirt. No big deal. Let's let that cool for a second, and I'm going to check in on some questions. Okay, so checking in on Facebook here. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. If you guys have any customer service concerns, I can't be much help here live on the internet, so do me a favor. Head on over to HeatPressNation.com Heat.press. There we go. Thank you, Alex. Heat.press/support if you have any questions about an order of yours or anything like that. Head on over there, or you can give us a call at 800-215-0894. Again, it's 800-215-0894. And yeah. Yeah, someone's having a blast on the YouTube channel. Go fart on someone else's live. I think someone's asking if we could press on a jean jacket. Yeah, for sure. You can definitely press this on denim. We have, oh, sorry, Prasan, I don't know if I finished answering this question. Is it possible to print sublimation on 100% cotton? What's the process? You can't sublimate directly onto 100% cotton. What you can do is, we have these printable heat transfer vinyls called Easy Subli and Subliflex 202. You print on the vinyl, then cut the vinyl, and then press the vinyl to the shirt. So you can't directly sublimate onto cotton, but you can use your sublimation printer with certain products to press onto cotton. So it's kind of a workaround. It's not a direct sublimation. Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, let's keep going. It looks like this is cool. So I'm going to go ahead and let's peel this. Actually, I'm going to come around here and we are going to peel this. So really quick, just going to bring this one around. There we go. All right. Let's do this. Now, when you're peeling this, an important thing to remember is it's not like vinyl where you just go up and away. You want to roll it like a taquito, all right? My ancestors are so angry that I pronounced it taquito. So you see, I'm getting just a little corner, but instead of lifting up and away, I'm just going to be rolling it, holding the shirt down. While I roll it. Oh, I guess I did end up missing that corner. There we go. So as you guys saw here, this is where I kept talking through my process and I waited too long and I let it cool down. But if you look at what I pressed just like 5 minutes before we went live, you know, boom, let's pretend I did this one. I'm just kidding. No, real life, like you definitely do have to practice. And of course, you're probably not going to be talking live on camera while you're peeling, so you could just focus on getting one nice and smooth, even, clean peel. Here's the last step. This is going to be a little plasticky. It's a little shiny. So there's one last step, and that is the finish. So we're going to go ahead and go back to our heat press, and we are going to finish this. And I'm going to give Alex a second there. Let's give a hand clap for Alex. He always helps me out with these lives. Makes me look like a star. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and finish this. I'm going to use some silicone paper. In the instructions, it says like finishing economy or something like that. It's just some silicone parchment paper. That's what it is. I got some stuff right here. Ooh, very dangerous. I'm reaching under the element. I got like a little clump of, there we go. Okay. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to repress it for 30 seconds. Now, some people were mentioning, and we're going to go ahead and do this, right? Same temperature, same everything, just 30 seconds. Some people were mentioning that it breaks apart when you pull it. Okay, look. I'm going to be real, guys. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, so I'm going to be real. Screen print, unless you have water-based ink, if you stretch really hard on your screen print, it will also crack. So I don't, and also when I put a t-shirt on, I don't go like this. I don't Superman the chest of it. Let's open this up. Okay, there we go. And this one, the second press, you could just peel it away. And that is in there. That is not going anywhere. It's looking beautiful, and it's ready to roll. So what I was mentioning about the stretch test, like, I know the temptation is to just be like, Whoa! And like really tug on it to test the integrity of your transfer, but in real life, nobody does that. That's not a real world test. I guess if you want to be extra sure, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull on this one that I did earlier. I'm going to pull on it. We're going to see how it holds up to stretching. Now, I will say this, the more coverage you have, and I'm talking about solid, like where it's solid coverage of the material, it's more likely to crack. If you have more negative space on there like this transfer, it's going to be less prone to cracking. But again, if this would have been done in screen print, I guarantee you the test that I'm about to do would crack your screen print as well. Unless you're doing water-based, it's just how it is. The exception would be Easy Weed Stretch. I think Easy Weed Stretch would survive what I'm about to do to this shirt, but do you have the time to weed all of this? In Easy Weed Stretch, I don't know. And in real life, is anybody about to do this to their shirt? I don't think so. So let me just mess this up a little bit. Again, nobody's doing this to their shirts in real life. So if this is your stress test, if this is your stretch test, dude, what do you do to your t-shirts? So there we go. Yeah, so I'm a pretty buff guy. Give it a solid test. Yeah, we could see a little bit of distortion there, I'm sure, after you heat press it a little bit. I'm gonna show it to the camera. We're gonna get really close here. And yeah, you could see that there we go. It's coming up right now, don't worry. So you can see I yanked on it really hard, and yeah, especially where there's areas of solid coverage, you can kind of see, yeah, there's a little cracking. It's not terrible. I guarantee you if you did this with screen print, it would look worse. So, oh, we got a little frozen. There we go, no worries. If you did that with screen print, it would look worse, but here's the thing. Nobody does that in real life. That's not a real world test. So, what have you. I get that you guys want to be really thorough with your testing. It didn't lift, that's cool. So that's definitely on there. If you have people that are Supermaning their t-shirts, maybe this isn't for you, but if you're selling to normal people, by all means, FlexSoft is going to be a great choice, especially, again, for intricate designs. So is it the easy weed killer? Not by a mile. But is it going to save you time weeding your intricate designs and giving you a really cool product? 100%. FlexSoft, I personally don't use it for every job, but there are some jobs where I would not use anything else just because of the time saved. And yeah, and also just like designs like this, if somebody asked me to do this in vinyl, I would have to charge them extra for the time spent weeding and cutting. Your time is valuable. So you don't have to turn down super intricate jobs anymore. You could use FlexSoft. You don't have to turn away customers. I hate turning away customers. So yeah, so that's forever FlexSoft today. It is available at HeatPressNation.com, or it's not on the screen, but heat.press/flex, F-L-E-X, like flex, soft, like soft shirt, S-O-F-T. Heat.press/FlexSoft. If you guys want to pick up some Forever FlexSoft and try it for yourself today, I've used, I think it's called bronze, but it actually looks more copper than anything. I'm going to take a couple more questions here live. There we go. Is Easy Subly better quality than heat transfer paper? It's a great question. Easy Subly, because it's a heat transfer vinyl, it's a printable vinyl, it is going to be more durable. But I think the resolution on heat transfer paper is just a little bit more fine, and that's more due to the texture. Easy Subly has a little texture on it, so there's like this much less good resolution on there. It still looks great, don't get me wrong, but if like the resolution looks better on heat transfer paper, but because it's vinyl, Easy Subly is more durable. That's a great question. I need to watch more videos on different vinyls. That's where I struggle. Yeah, trust me, I encourage you guys. Practice makes perfect, especially if you're just getting started with a new product. You definitely want to give yourself a little bit of time to practice with it, make sure your settings are right. Today's settings for this, I went with the minimums. I did 275 degrees Fahrenheit. That's because I used a metallic one. It does vary. And then 90 seconds for the A-B transfer, 30 seconds for the final and the finish, and then waited until it was completely cold to peel. And you guys saw the hot peel for the A-B transfer. I was talking too much and I messed that up a little bit. But I assure you, if you're focused, wearing some gloves to protect from the heat, you shouldn't have an issue doing one smooth pull. Okay, we hop on over to our Facebook. Gonna get to the last round of questions. And then we got to go because we are prepping for, I can't even tell you guys. I can't even tell you guys about the cool sale that we do every year. That's our bigger sale of the year. Oh, if only I knew what next week was and I could tell you. That's crazy. I think we're good. I'm going to give me a second. I'm going to double check Facebook to make sure I'm not missing out on any questions here. There we go. What is this process called? I'm using Forever Flex Soft. It's done with a laser printer. In fact, the only thing I didn't do, which is also the fastest step of this whole process, is print. I didn't print on camera. I showed you guys the print. The cool thing about laser printers is your thing is, like, you send it to print, it takes like 6 seconds and it's done. So that part is actually the fastest part. You don't have to have a white toner printer. In fact, I used a black and white Brother printer. So you can definitely use that. With this is a laser printer. All you need is solid black toner coverage. That is it. Okay. Oh yes, on YouTube we have a couple FlexSoft tutorials. So if you don't feel like sitting through the kind of long-winded one for what you're watching right now, we have some quick and easy tutorials that cut right to the chase, available on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/HeatPressNation. Okay, I've done the process a few times. What do you think the issue could be if the designs start cracking? It could also be that it's not being washed properly. Of course, this is a heat transfer product, and with all heat transfer products, with the exception maybe of sublimation, with all heat transfer products, when you put the garments in the dryer at a high heat, you're kind of, since they're sensitive to heat, they're not gonna last as long. But you also wanna do the finishing step. I highly recommend heating it again with the parchment paper as you saw today for an extra 30 seconds at the regular temperature after you've peeled it. So after you peel it, make sure you're hitting it again for the finish. An additional 30 seconds after the peel. And then also you want to just let your customers know, like, hey, you could include a custom tag. Custom tags, by the way, they do make you look so much more legit. It makes it feel more valuable to the customer. And it does two things. It makes you look better, but then it also gives them clear instructions on how to wash it. I want to say these are the instructions that come with your Forever Flex Soft. I don't think it has it here, but it's on the website. Yeah, they should be washed, I think, cool or warm, and then tumble dry low. You don't want to go super high heat on the drying. And then also, it goes back to, if you have a lot of coverage, it's not going to hold up as well during the wash and dry. So, let's see. Okay. Okay, yeah, very cool. Well, that's going to do it for me then, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Heat Press Nation Live. We are not having our live webinar this week in preparation for our super crazy and amazing thing that I can't tell you about, but that does involve a big sale next week. So this is going to do it for me and you this week, but stick around. Don't forget to join our Facebook group. You can catch me there. If you have any questions at all, heat.press/FB group. It should be coming up on your screen in like 10 seconds or less. There it is. Boom. All right. Facebook group, lots of great things on there, and I'm going to be showing you guys. If you have any questions about FlexSoft, feel free to drop it there. And yeah, it's going to do it for me today. I thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, if you're on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. We got lots of great content coming out all the time. All right, it's going to do it for me here. I'll see you guys around.